Hey YouTube, James from the Wife and Watch here, and something a little bit different today. So for my regular subscribers, this is going to be a non-related Yu-Gi-Oh video, and as you can tell by the title, this is actually a Dungeons and Dragons video that I've put together just because I wanted to include my other passion in gaming life, which is of course Dungeons and Dragons. I played Dungeons and Dragons for a long time now, so a lot longer than Yu-Gi-Oh actually. So I've been playing, actually it's not that much longer, but it's longer. Dungeons and Dragons since I was 13, which is a long time ago now for me. I won't say exactly how many years, but it's a little while nonetheless. Now, me and a group of friends obviously play. It's a solid group of friends that I played with for pretty much that whole period of time. Some people have come and gone in the sort of over the years, but fundamentally there's four of us that sort of regularly, well, I wouldn't say regularly play, but you know, I've been playing for a long period of time, and we've gone through some massive changes. I mean, we originally started playing in the second edition of the player's guide, obviously the Dungeon Master guide as well. I'm not a Dungeon Master, I should stress at this point in time, so the writing of the actual campaigns etc. is not my responsibility. But what I wanted to do is just sort of set the scene a little bit, because what I thought I might do is profile some of the characters that I'm currently using, and some of them that have probably been and gone, and sort of what I wanted to quickly explain in this video is how we operate our Dungeons and Dragons game. So I find that when I start talking to somebody who plays Dungeons and Dragons, we as a group of players, we've gone off on a tangent completely. So you know, from that second edition game, obviously it's gone into quite a few more editions, none of which I've read. I've never played a newer edition, but we grabbed hold of the Birthright campaign at that sort of same sort of time, and we've taken that game and made it our own. So it's a very different game than you guys are probably currently playing, and the current edition, whatever it is, Dungeons and Dragons. But I imagine the principle's still basically the same. You know, we use these maps that you can see behind me here to basically center our game around. This part of the world is called Kinazi, and it's one of 5 continents, and we've played pretty much all of them now. But after a few years of gameplay in one particular area, the Dungeon Master might decide to write a story in a different set of places, but we base our adventures on this part of the world, and we use it as a sort of go-to, how would I describe it? Oh, sorry, I've disappeared there. Our base for our game and our story, and we don't use the same characters all the time, although we hang on to them for a long period of time. What we do is, like I say, base it around these stories. We change the timeline sometimes. I mean, for instance, at the moment, we are playing a bunch of mercenaries, I suppose you could explain it as, that have acquired a vessel. We're based from Gomorrah down here in the Gomoran Islands, and we are good doers. So we get hired by various different people, different temples, different guilds, different regents, land regents of course, and we go and tackle different areas, different issues. And so the way we structured it is we have 4 players, like I said, and each player has 5 to 6 characters that are available to him at any one time, but you might only play 3 of them at once. So around the table there'll be 1 Dungeon Master, and then effectively 9 characters, each played 3 by 1 player, of course. So you know, we are asked to put together a pool of characters that we would want to play when we base them around actual figures, and we are set with a task. We're given the sort of open script, if you like. We play on an actual whiteboard table with you know, with 1 inch squares on them, and are they 1 inch? Yeah, basically they're an inch square, I think. I've got a small one down here which you can't see, of course, but and I'll probably, you know, I'll show you that later on in the next video perhaps. But this video really is just to sort of open it up to the world of Dungeons and Dragons, my channel as well. I'm going to be showing you a couple of my character sheets. I'm going to show you one now. Well, we may as well kick it off because I actually play the captain of the ship, because in our game we actually run more than one dungeon master, so only one dungeon master will write a story at a time. But so yeah, there we go. Let's try and make this make sense a little bit. Move me over here somewhere so we can because that doesn't matter, you can see the map anytime. Yeah, so we don't use pen and paper anymore. We're all on laptops. You know, quick sort of moving around, and you know, quick access to things. I'm having to rub pencil marks out, whatever it is. You know, we're still using dice. You know, it's the same game effectively. We still have character sheets that you can see in front of you now. But like I say, the games just run a bit different, and we use our stories from the old Birthright campaign. I'll find out what year that's from. If you Google it, you'll see it. It was not a long-lasting campaign or anything, but we took it and we made it our own, and we've been playing it for more than 20, less than 30 years. Let's put it that way. But as you can see on the right-hand side, so Shatzi is the captain of the ship. So she's my primary character. At the moment she is level 8, which in our game is quite high. We normally start our characters from probably 3-ish. Some of them start from 1. They're not going to last long if you don't look after them, so you know, you have to be careful who you bring in at 1. But Shatzi actually was one of the characters that came in at level 1, so I've had her a long time. Yeah, I imagine some of you are looking at this character sheet and thinking, actually, what on earth is this? What's that? What's this? You know, these spreadsheets that you can see in front of you, we all use the same spreadsheet, but it's based off the old character sheet that you would have seen in 2nd edition. So, and like I say, I don't know the new rules, so I can't really compare the two. But what I can tell you is, you know, strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, wisdom, and charisma are your 6 primary stats. Your character's based off it. I like to make little notes for myself over the if there's a stat change for whatever, you know, I've made a note there because she is wearing steel armband. Which, if I remember rightly, where on earth is that? There it is, steel armband of strength. Once per day, the wearer can increase strength to 18 for 10 rounds. Enchantment 2. So she's wearing a magical item that affects her strength, and that's just a reminder for me to remember to look at it when we're actually in gameplay. Other notes on here might be original stats was 17. She's got an extra 1 point for wearing braces of dexterity. Braces of dexterity is listed here, and they're leather, but they offer dexterity +1, so another little adjustment. She's also a bow user, so the dexterity becomes important. Constitution, of course, original stat was 10. She lost 1 by being hit from a dagger of undead, and then lost another 1 when she's been resurrected. I can't remember who Jin is. It must have been an older game, I can't remember. Intelligence 10 is a normal stat. Wisdom 16. Original stat is 16, -1 hit by dagger of undead. That was a lucky dagger, wasn't it? And then +1 gifted by Nasri. Nasri is one of the standard gods in the game. All our characters are based around one god. So I don't think there's many exceptions to that. So Shatzi actually was a paladin of Nasri, but is currently no longer a paladin of Nasri just because of an old family story that she came to the game with. But her sort of object in life is to bring herself back to it and get back to that status. But the way she's doing it is, like I said to you, she started at level 1. She's working her way up, gaining strength, gaining nobility, I suppose. She comes from a high background. She's from a Tammanzada family currently, at least. And, you know, that's a bit of background about Shatzi. Shatzi for short, Sharatzim bint Filan El Denebi is a long name. She is from the Citadel of Nasri's Daughters. So Citadel of Nasri's Daughters is a small Nasri temple based on the Gomoran Islands that I explained before, and that's sort of where she originated from. Her family, El Denebis, she's actually the niece of that family, and they're also the Tammanzada family from Gomorrah. So the Tammanzada family are the sort of the biggest family in the state. And then there'll be Ajazada families sort of competing for that Tammanzada status. So there's only one family ruling the country, if you like. The rest of these stats are fairly unusual. So the max movement rates, so we've got unencumbered, light, medium, heavy, and severe. And obviously you want to keep your characters around either unencumbered or at the very least light, otherwise it becomes more penalties than it's worth. You know, you've got your saving throws, which hopefully are fairly, I don't know if they're still there, but they presumably are. These stats are straight out of the character, the player's guide, sorry. A little bit of basic stats about what she looks like. How many blood points? Now, blood is a new thing from Birthright rulebook. So essentially, if you are of noble bloodline, you are given a blood line, if you like. Then you're given a blood derivation, which is where it originates from. So my blood derivation in this case is Anduiras, which actually originates from a continent further west from the continent we're playing in, called Anuria. It's a major bloodline because it's quite a powerful bloodline. She comes from a noble family, and she's currently got 55 blood points, which is quite high actually for a regular character. Eldenaby is her surname, sort of thing. She's a Nazra Folliel, as we mentioned before. Which town, you know, where does she come from? That's, you know, there's actually a province called Eldenaby. She's on Tammanzada status, and position is the position on the boat. So you could be a shareholder on the boat, because we've actually broken it down into a little business effectively. So if you're a partner, you're earning from the shares in the actual empire, if you like, and as the empire grows, your share grows, and when either that character retires and will take their share with them, or will die, and that share is then spread out into the other characters that are still surviving. Yes, there is an argument for killing off our own players, which doesn't happen though. We're very honourable, we're all good. This hopefully is all fairly standard stuff. So we've got which weapons can she use. So she is a specialist with a composite short bow. She's a master with a long sword, but with two hands specifically. She's currently carrying an enchanted +3 longsword and a quality. The quality thing is something we made up. So it was just there's too many magical items in the game, so we just decided to make sure that you could buy a composite short bow, or you could buy a composite short bow with slightly better wood, which gives it a slightly better hit benefit, or you could buy one with +2 quality, we call it, so even better quality, or +3 quality. It goes from 1, 2, or 3. So she's got the highest quality composite short bow that money can buy, but it's not enchanted. And these are the stats I've sort of made notes of where she's getting these benefits from. These are Thacos, which hopefully hasn't left the game. I'm sure it hasn't. Damage modifiers, of course. What weights? We also came up with encumbrance, because you could find that a character is carrying 17 long swords and technically can carry it weight wise, but you try and carry 17 long swords on your back and see if you can move. You can't. So we introduced the encumbrance tally to all weapons and armor, which basically means you can't just come in armed to the teeth and expect to be able to move an action. Mastery and specialism, so you can be proficient with a weapon. You spend an extra slot, then you can be a specialist in that weapon, and if you spend 3 slots, you can be a master in that weapon, and that gives you more attack modifiers and defense damage modifiers. But you can see the proficiency slots that it's taken up. So to be a composite short bow specialist. She's spent 2 slots for that, and to be a master in longsword, it's 3 slots. And you can just see where the slots, how many slots she's actually got. So she's got 6 weapon slots currently. But she's now using, she's also proficient in a cavalry Sparta, which is sort of a sword meant for use on horseback, but doesn't actually carry one. So she's proficient in using one, but she's not carrying it. And then you've got 5 non-weapon proficiencies. So these are the ones that she's chosen to go with. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The 6 is because there is one free one, because we broke down the thief character class. So instead of having a thief available, what we did was made the thief abilities proficiencies, which means that other character classes can pick those proficiencies up. And is what we said was, instead of having the thief character class, we'll give everybody a free non-weapon proficiency, so they can pick up an extra slot, and hopefully when win the game, we're not going to be missing out on some of those proficiencies that we need to have available to us. Then so that's all fairly simple stuff. So she's got singing, swimming, riding land-based, which goes obviously with the cavalry Sparta, direction sense, artistic ability, drawing, and seamanship. Then over to here to armour. This is our armour class, and when you've got Thaco, which is 2-hit armour class 0, she is now -4. So if somebody with a Thaco of 8 was trying to hit Shatzi, they'd have to add 4 to their Thaco, which means they'd have to throw a 12 in order to hit on their attack. So yeah, pretty good armour class. This is sort of where she's getting those armour classes from. Then as we scroll down a little bit, there's special equipment. So this is where all any magical items that she's picked up I've listed here, so we can actually refer to them and understand how they work. Blood abilities, like I was saying before, is a function that isn't available in the regular game. It was only introduced in the Birthright campaign, but because she's got a high blood point score, not all characters have a bloodline, by the way. This is, like I say, this is the captain of the ship, so you'd expect it to be quite a strong character. But she has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blood abilities, and there's a brief description on how many points that's cost and what they actually do. Then we've got a couple of potion belt pouches for potions. We've got a couple of quivers for our arrows. Our spreadsheet sort of equates all the weights and encumbrances into that budget here, because in the second tab here there's the kit, so you can literally itemize everything that she's carrying on her, even down to a tent, an extra longsword. That was her old one before she picked up the enchanted one. How much cash she's got on her, a few gems. All these weights are calculated and then sent to the front page, so we can tell exactly how she's moving. So she's moving with a pack at 93.9. If we go up to the weights and encumbrances, that would actually mean she's moving at light. But as soon as she drops her pack, then she's well below that. So if she goes into battle, she can just throw her pack down and get on with it. Guys, I don't want to bang on this video. This is sort of the brief introduction to my first character, my biggest character, the captain of the ship. We call the ship the Lady Astrea, which the name comes from another story that we played previously. But yes, I hope you enjoyed that. I don't know if sort of character profiles are a thing or not in Dungeons & Dragons. I'm probably going to have to have a look myself and see if that's the case. But I intend to do a few more of these. If you've got any questions, please do feel free to put it on the comments box. I'm by no means an expert on the current D&D game, but I have been playing this game a long time, so I'd love to hear what you guys think about it, and maybe some additions that we might not have thought about. But yeah, thanks very much guys for watching, and we'll see you for the next video. Cheers guys, bye bye.